Welcome back to another episode of
The
Litol
Little
Women!
Women! Hey! 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 Chung, 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 chung.
Crazy. Okay, so for this week's episode, we're gonna be talking about facing fears. So for me, facing fears could either be internally or externally something that you accept that you accept now. So, guys,
So, we have to have faced it already. Parang ganon.
yes. So internally, externally, yes. So when you guys hear the word facing fears, what comes into your mind?
I would like to start by saying, I think growing up as a kid, I was very scared of my parents.
La, 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 la. Kasi,
So alright. So for me, it's like first I have to acknowledge that there is fear. Yeah, the emotion.
So you didn't acknowledge the emotion fear before?
Yeah, I think like
Oh.
I've just realized about those different emotional stresses. Maybe like already when I was in my after I gave birth to you guys. But before I don't know, I couldn't care less. Maybe yeah,
Di ka ba
okay. Of course
natakot?
there is though this emotional stress that comes in one's lifetime, but I think for me I've never really put a name into each of that. Thus not really acknowledging. So that's why I said that first I think I have to acknowledge it first. Like what is that type of emotion?
O kaya nga, now that
Yeah.
you acknowledge the type of emotion, can you give an instance where that emotion manifested in your life?
One of my fears, so let's say the cliche height is really one of my
height something that we're
greatest
lacking.
fears.
That's why we're small.
Ah.
Because she's afraid of...
Yeah, and also like being when I think about it, but it never happened to me. Like being at the bottom of the sea, being at the bottom of the water. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. It can be seen then because she doesn't like swimming a lot.
Yeah.
Or if it's swimming, it's like the shallow area. Pero mom doesn't really like going to the deep, dark ocean.
Okay, so for me, the thing that I feared was change. The fact that the future is uncertain and like this yeah, like you don't know if you're gonna fail something or if like something bad is gonna happen or if something good is gonna happen. So that's what I was afraid of. But to overcome that, I had the mindset it is what it is. So like it happens, it'll pass, it's fine. Whatever path I'm put onto, it's what I am going through. So might as well just get with it. So yeah. So how did you guys overcome each other's fears?
No,
Or
like I
did you
have a
overcome?
question. You say that when you feel you fear change, right? And then your process is that you have to get on with it.
So it's just like accepting the change. Like it will happen. So just go, let it happen.
So whatever change that comes to your life, you accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean most of the changes.
Although it seems it's still hard. Especially for...
But that like is it like there are some physical actions right? Like yeah, you accept it, but like my question is, do you rant about it?
Oh yeah, I do. But like I'm not like insane, right? Like I let out the feeling of like my sadness or something or like my frustration during that time. But I make sure to let it out to the right people. Like my mom, she is tolerant of me.
So I thought you said taller than me.
I mean that's true also, but you know.
How about you, Yani?
I would like to expound on my answer before I was... I think when I was growing up, I think one of my fears was like people's expectations, getting let down. That's why I said my parents, like letting people's expectations down. Especially na I'm the oldest, one of the older siblings and cousins. So I think growing up, I really, in the back of my mind, I had that people expect me to be the older person. So one of my fears talaga was like for school, I didn't want to let my teachers down or whatever. I think it really went around the ideology na I don't want to be get lower than people's expectations. And then in college naman, because college is so weird because people's expectations differ. So what happened was I set my own expectations and I felt like it was kinda harder. Kasi, kasi for me, parang you set it at the highest bar so that parang yung highest bar is the safe eh. If you get up there, hindi siya lower than other people's like the standards. So I think that really parang played with my mental health and my Pero now that I am older, I feel like she hugged me. I feel like I think I'm more merciful with myself. And I think the generation then now is trying to move past the hustle and grind culture. You know that when parang kasi before the ideology was you have to work hard to be successful. But now it's more of you have to work smart and success is different for other people. So I think that's where our generation is kind of heading towards. I hope. I hope.
So I have a question though. Like yeah, you mentioned parents, right? So it's me.
It's her.
So like okay, I don't know, but is like when you were a child, did you feel like there are expectations from the adult?
I think it was subconsciously set on me. Because when we have family reunion or whatever, syempre, there's like the parang may kwento session. And in grandma's house, there's like a whole shelf of trophy.
Oh, that's true.
Dati, is it still up now? Pero I think it's not up now. So there's a whole shelf of this trophies of like different generations, like dad, like titos, and then grandpa, most especially. And then I remember a time when I forgot who brought me there. I think it was Tito Jojo or something. He brought me there, and then he was like, "This is all of the achievements," and I was like, "Oh, so ganun pala." Like that's where our family, the context of our family came from, and the titos and titas then they excel talaga in the field that they are. So actually, I like going to the reunions in my mom's side kasi ano lang siya. Happy!
In line with what you said, right, you always like reach your expectations. So
Yeah.
since I go like to the same school as UMC, they'd be like, "Oh, you're Yani's sister," right? And I'm like,
You know, Alee did not like telling people that I was her sister. And I was like, it didn't really hurt me. I kind of understood then because I think coming from whenever I say this is my parents or these are my cousins or these are my titos and titas, there's always at least a family member who excelled in a part of Kasi, you know what, it's so funny because in an engineering sa UP, one of our titos is very popular pala there. Tas he did a talk. Do you know that? Yung brother ni dad. So it was like, huh? Are you related to this person? Or like in any other field. So I understand. I didn't really mind when she said she didn't want to tell people that that we were related.
I was compared to her. As in, like, in MC, they'd be like, "Oh, do you have a sister?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, so you must be really smart." I'm like, "No." Like,
Ay,
no.
That's
That's why,
like the teachers.
yeah, that's why, like, my grades, I was like, roar. When it started at, like, grade 6, when they were like, "Oh, you're a sister. And I was like, roar, I need to get this amount of grades. I need to roar. So, yeah.
Alright. So it's actually, as you said, it's indirectly put into your
Yeah. Nobody parang
consciousness that
intends to.
that there are expectations, but it's more of like the environment, the people around. So yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've never really, when we are not here discussing these fears, I've never really thought that this were your number one fear about people's expectations. I thought like you have set your own expectations and you're trying to reach your own expectation.
With that, my expectation was kind of influenced by society. I wouldn't be as mean as I am to myself.
Akala ko
If
to
I
other
did-
people. I was like, oh! Rar!
I wouldn't be as mean to myself now if like nobody showed me what success meant to them.
Oh, you have a point!
Right?
It's like the society standards of women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
So basically, the fear roots from the environment. Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah.
I've never really thought
Thought
that
of it.
it could be one of the biggest fears that people will have. Maybe especially for you guys because you are young, and maybe because of the social media, like you have people have to be conscious about
Yeah.
our what we are, how we show ourselves, because people might think this, they might think that. Yeah.
Mm.
So like for me, with that, for
Mm.
me it's like how we think about ourselves, that is what is most important. So
Mm.
I don't know, yeah, because like it's good you set your own expectations, but at least it is your own expectations, not other people's expectations. So how we think about ourselves, and how we acknowledge and accept what we can do.
Mm.
Mm.
Do you think that, like, do you think it's possible for a person to have expectations that's not influenced by people around them? If people had no expectations, do you think there would still be expectations? Like, yes.
I
Mm.
think so because the system breeds it eh. Like
Mm.
the system of society. There's always someone better than you. There's always an excel. So if even though people don't have expectations, parang we will still end up ranking each other because of like society. You guys know the Black Mirror episode that I always yung nosedive. I always tell you guys that the
What's
pastel episode where she's like they rank them
Oh
based
yeah,
on social media.
that was so.
So how do
insane.
you deal with those, just so that you take off that fear factor? At this point, what do you think? How will you deal with that kind of fear? How people would see you, how people feels about you, the ranking.
Wait, my first fear was change, right? So I did it is what it is. Thus, the second one was the expectations. I just, if I reach it, then cool. If I don't, then also cool. Just do what you want. Be happy. Yay.
Pero Ali, you also have expectations for other people.
Oh, I don't show them though.
No, but you do. So parang you're also trying to make other people rise to your expectations, which kinda the system like it makes it perpetuates it.
Yeah, so it's like an evolution of expectation. We expect something from them.
Oh.
Ah.
So when
Yeah.
you say just do you, and I'm like, huh? How about the other times when Ali goes to the
Yeah, but I think it can't be perfect though, because it is all about progressing. So no matter, like, different situations, different reactions, so different levels of fear. So but it could be, yeah, there is no perfect reaction and perfect thought and
Yeah.
feeling to a certain situation.
Yeah.
As like a leader in the group, like group works, I have expectations for them, but I don't show them. And if they need help, they usually ask me and I guide them. I'm gonna be like, okay, let me
Yeah,
help
so
you.
like, because for me,
You should.
there's just something that came to my mind, like my fear is actually not about, yeah, physically, being at the bottom of the sea, but I think that will not happen in this lifetime. So my fear, actually I don't know, but sometimes I have this emotion, but sometimes I don't know where it comes from.
Maybe it's anxiety. Do you think so?
It's like it can be bordering to anxiety, because because anxiety has many things, right? So maybe fear is one of them. So yeah, sometimes there's just like like one day you are so inspired, and the next day you are so, what is this fear in my heart?
Yeah.
So but, I just want to, I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think-
yeah.
That also manifests more now because we're in the the current situation is rocky, and I remember us talking about how one of our fears then is to get sick. Parang mom is praning, like super praning, and we're also like we're very careful because of that. So I think then we try to manage then our fear in that way, physical way, by like putting up, precautions and things like that. So I think because of the high risk situation that we're in, mas na heighten yung fear natin.
For health.
Yeah, for health and
Yeah.
like in general, you're like dami kasi nangyayari with the economy and finances and
Yeah.
career, whatever. So, parang it kind of
Yeah.
touches.
As parents, in our case, it's the finances. Then maybe in your case,
It's also finances.
finances.
Yeah.
But
How are you
you're
also
not
finances?
spending.
I'm spending.
You're spending for your own.
I'm
orders.
investing. This mic, I bought this. This camera,
Yeah,
I bought this.
Finances. Yeah, but I think that's the major concern for parents. And then I don't know, maybe your track, your career track,
Stability.
stability.
Foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think going back to your question about how I manage my fear naman of other people's expectation, I try to break it a bit na, like with social media. Because social media is so curated. And my family can see it also when they look at my feed or when they look at other people's feed. Syempre, there's like a certain mask you put on when you use social media. Pero there are moments when I like to break the wall, like IG stories of really like in the moment stories where I'm not prim and proper, or where I'm very myself. I'm not saying that I'm not myself on Instagram, pero there are moments when you don't expect people to share. And those are the moments that I kind of like sharing, because it shows na we're all kind of living our lives. It shows like I'm not always perfect. I have blemishes. I have days when I'm bloating, or I have days when I don't feel 100%. And it's just nice to see people share that on social media, kasi parang, oh my goodness, I can breathe. There is someone else who is also experiencing life. Not just the best form of life, pero life in general, with all of the cracks and all of the imperfections. So, I'd like to be that on my social media. That's a... Woo! Woohoo!
That is a
Do you
nice
have any
speech.
fear of dying?
Huh?
No. It's so... I always think of that. Like, whenever the topic of dying comes up, parang naisip ko, am I really scared of it? I'm more
Yeah.
scared of people missing me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, they say that the people who pass on is already in the glorious state. It's just like the people who are left are experiencing the pain.
Oh, yeah, that's why I don't...
Yeah.
Like, naisip ko, am I really afraid of dying, or am I afraid of the people I leave behind?
Oh.
There was a time I was like thinking about, I don't want to sound like death or anything, but like one of my fears is actually how I will die.
Oh.
Why? Like, do you want it to be faster?
I want to just leave the body, that's it, peacefully.
Okay.
Not into be like in a wreck or whatever.
Not parang like, you're fighting for, ano pa?
Not like under the building trying to get out.
Disclaimer, I'm so sorry, guys. This is just a really unfiltered conversation, and we don't want to offend anyone based on, what we're saying, because everyone is experiencing different things.
Yeah.
So, we're not making fun of the topic death, pero it's more of just kind of thinking about it in this certain context and in this light conversation. But the topic death is not light at all, especially with the current situation that we have and how it's affecting other people. So, pero we're talking about it in terms of fear, in terms of how we see the concept. But of course, we'd like to extend our sensitivity to the people who are really experiencing this and who have been affected by this in real life. So, yeah, just disclaimer.
Okay, so death. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm afraid of what I'm gonna miss out if I die.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. Since
Because-
you are still young.
I was talking about this with my
yeah.
friends, and then I was like, I don't wanna die at this moment, because I still wanna meet like my friends after this pandemic and everything. So yeah, the events that I'm gonna miss.
So sad.
So how about like usually the most common fear factor is are ghosts.
Oh.
I think staying with you, I feel like I've been immune to.
No, like what would you fear more? A ghost or a real person?
Oh.
Ah.
Has there been any deaths by ghosts?
I
Huh?
don't know.
I don't know. My brain was like statistics.
Oh, I
We
think
need
in
to
the
look.
movies.
Scary lang kasi in the movies, they can touch things eh.
Ah.
Diba?
Yeah, is it like the movie that you just watched, the Korean movie?
The call.
Hindi siya ghost eh.
Ah,
It's
okay.
like a
Totoong
time
siya,
warp.
tao siya.
Ghost or a real person?
A real person.
Why?
Because I feel like mas maraming... Because they can touch me, they can hurt me every day. Ghosts can be like, hey!
You can just
Bye.
float by.
Hopefully, I
How
think if
about
you
you,
have
Alee?
faith.
I think I'm more afraid of ghosts because if they like pounce on you, you can't pounce on them.
Or you
I
can't hurt
think.
them back.
Yeah. But if it's a person, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna fight you. Rar. Gay. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
For me,
about
it's
you?
a real person. An intruder.
Intruder?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Intruder.
a person who comes
Intruder.
in the house that is not-
Unexpected
yeah.
stranger.
No, an intruder, and then the what it's that what that person is going to do. But like for me siguro like 10 years ago, I'd fear ghost more than a real live person.
I think it's because you also, developed.
Yeah, I've developed like 10 years ago. I was only 20 and now I'm 30, so I
Weh.
Wow.
Fake news.
Wow. So when did you give
I
birth
know
to
better.
us? Huh? 12 years old?
Uh-uh. Do you fear like going out of the house and then
Like right now, yeah.
I don't.
Like with the COVID.
so do you have that fear when you
Yeah.
go out of the house?
I'm more afraid of bringing the virus in with you guys than getting it myself.
Oh wow, thank you.
You're
Concern with
welcome.
the family.
I'm kinda I think as long as there's like plastic within the face and stuff, it's fine. As long as
The
it doesn't...
shield, the face shield.
Yeah.
Alatang hindi lumalabas ng isa, guys.
The plastic.
Yeah, you're just lucky that you guys don't have to go out.
All the time.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean others really
You have
have
to.
to go out
Required
to
to,
work.
yeah.
Uh,
So the topic fear, I think it's kind of broad to be like to have like a certain like, a cumulative
mhm.
idea or ideology on it. Pero what is something you fear that's ridiculous? Like, are you sure? Is that a real fear?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fishbone!
Oh, fishbones!
Because like there was a time when I swallowed the fishbone and it like got stuck. Like you can't just swallow it down. So you had to pull it out with tweezers. I cried. As in, I cried the whole time. But I was brave because I was like, let's just get this thing out. Then yeah.
How many times did that happen to you?
Twice. No, wait. The first time it was like really like that and like really thick. The second time
A
it
really
was,
thick
like,
bone.
yeah.
That's a finger length,
Like,
Huh?
like
I guess.
The
No,
fir- yeah,
Half
it
of
was-
the finger.
Yeah.
No, a half inch.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, continue.
Yeah, it was so scary. Ooh, when
How
they
about
took it
you?
out, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Sorry.
Something ridiculous that I fear. Actually, I just asked the question. I don't have an answer.
Okay, I'll answer first.
Okay, go.
It's because in my age sometimes there was a point in which I get dizzy.
Ah.
Vertigo ba?
Yeah, not really, but dizziness.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a slight vertigo. Maybe yeah, for my golden age. My hair is cold. So
With her wig.
disclaimer. I use this because I was not able to
Dye.
dye my roots.
You have
she
to
is
pull it
gray
forward
hair.
a bit because it's kita.
Yeah, so she's using a blonde wig now. Color
Every
change.
time we have
Cover
this
white hair.
Little
Women.
Women. Yeah. My dizziness and then my ridiculous fear is that I might just fall in the floor anytime. So how I face that, the question is, I just accept it. Okay, if I fall on the floor, then that's it. I fall.
Huh? I
Nice.
Gay.
You're on the floor
Good
and you're
game.
like, yep, that happened.
Yeah, and then I would be like, come on, dizziness, come now. I'm ready to fall.
My goodness.
Huh?
And then it would just, take off that feeling of being fearful of being dizzy.
Yeah, at least it doesn't hinder you to do things. Kasi diba when people fear something, they're like, I'm not gonna do it na.
Yeah, it depends on the fear, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, like I avoid going up in the mountain because I fear height.
I think what my ridiculous fear is a cockroach crawling up on me. It happened once na.
Oh yeah, that's legit.
Anong that's legit?
I mean, that's a legit ridiculous fear because the cockroach can't do much to you, big person.
Yeah, but do you prefer having a cockroach on your crawling up on you?
What if it flies?
But
Oh my
the
gosh, flying
percentage
cockroaches.
of the cockroach crawling up a person's leg is just like even less than 0.1.
It happened to
It
me,
happened
and then
to
I
my
was the
foot.
point one in grandma's house.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, that's why we have to make
Don't
sure that our
invalidate
place is
my fear.
is
Cockroach.
our room is clean.
I'm not afraid of cockroaches in general. I'm just afraid of getting it. Di naman afraid, pero I prefer not for it to get in my vicinity of my body and feel it. No, thanks.
Do you remember the one in Bohol when there was a spider and the dude just crushed it and threw it out?
This story has been like running for how many days in our family?
No,
Kahit ang
because
tagal na.
really the spider is big. It's not a regular spider.
I didn't see it kasi, so how big was
But
it?
I think because the girls, they have not really gone in a place where there are trees kasi we are stuck here in this small house that we have. So in the urban,
Hello, you're maarte also.
When
You
you saw the
stop.
spider.
Stop putting it on us lang, ha? I think you're one of the most maarte sa amin,
no,
ha?
but you called me first, like, Mom, there's, and then I would see, what is that? And it's too small. It's even like an ant.
Pero, okay, that's in cockroaches, right? Pero in other things, hello, you won't even ride roller coasters or you won't even join us, like, hiking or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't like too much motion. Let me just give some advice to you. Young
Wow,
girls.
what's solicited? Okay.
Because okay, there's fear, right? Or whatever emotions that we face. Then number one, we acknowledge that emotion. I'm talking from my experience because before, as I told you earlier, and I don't acknowledge emotions. That's why I call myself very passive about situations because I just like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just pass through that situation and that's it. So acknowledge that emotion and then as much as you can feel that emotion, feel the fear. Don't cover it up or deny the fear or deny the emotion, and then keep doing that, and then until we kind of go to that, I don't know if the acceptance stage, that there is this, that there is this fear that causes us stress, and then we accept that kind of thing, it gives us fear, and then now that we know better, then little by little we'll kind of still we acknowledge that it's a fear, but the emotions that comes with it gets a little bit lighter.
So to end this episode, yes, acknowledge your fears, just go with it, dwell in it, feel it, and accept it in the end.
But guys, we aren't psychologists, so I just want to give the disclaimer that
So
everything that we said is all opinionated.
Yeah, and it's all from my experience.
Experience-based, so
Yeah.
I hope you guys were just entertained by our talk for today. If you
Yes.
have any suggestions on topics that you want to hear from us, very interesting because we're all different ages, but we all stay in the same family. So, di ko alam kung meron kasing ganito na.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us, guys. The talks that we have here are actually conversations that we have during dinner, lunch, around the table, and we bring it here to share with you. So, my name is Myra,
I'm Alee.
And I'm Yani.
and we are the Litol Women.
Ma, you why are you have to say, why is it little ka nagka-Q? We
Little.
are the Little Women. Sasabay kami lahat. Hindi women tayo yung magsasabay kasi yung title, Little Women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sige, my name.
Hindi, sige. We are. Para pag mag-ending.
And we are the
Little Women!